Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us today on the Off the Scale Unfiltered podcast. I'm Bridget, joined by Shauna, and we have some catching up to do. So, there's been some interesting things going on the last couple weeks. And so, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some successes. We're going to talk about the end of Shauna's Dana Lynn Bailey challenge. So, yeah, let's get rolling. Shauna, you just did your after pictures. So let's hear all about that.
Bitch, you were supposed to be going first, but she flipped the script. I
I
was
did.
letting my dog in. That's why the door opens when you guys see this on video. I'll make it brief. I don't see much of a change, and I had texted Bridget. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just getting, my after pictures ready. I'll probably retake them after this. I started off at 154.3 or whatever the fuck it was, 27%. And then I ended it with 153 because I carved the fuck up yesterday. I don't know. I had a demon on me and like 2,400 calories fucking yesterday. We'll get into all that later. So then I ended it at 26.5% body fat with a 153.7 or something like that. So I lost a pound. I've been lower, enough said. I don't see much of a difference. And the only reason why I said I'm just taking the after pictures just to complete a challenge. The submissions that have been coming in for this challenge have been fucking ridiculous, like crazy.
Like
what people
massive
did in like
transformations.
6 to 8 weeks. People fucking dialed the fuck in. That's what I'm saying. I did not dial it in like that. So I dialed into my workouts more than anything else. How about that?
Well, that's the idea, right? So I've been listening to a crap ton of podcasts because, of course, my son Leighton and I went on a trip to Denver to go see family, and my cousin got married, so that was super fun. But I had a lot of time on the airplane and in the airport to listen to podcasts, and it's interesting. I think that people can see drastic, fast changes
Yes.
when they go hardcore on the nutrition and hardcore on the workouts. Like it becomes all they do. This is what they do, right?
But you have to do both.
Yes,
That's
but you
the
have
thing,
to do
right?
both, right? However, for long-term success, which most of us are looking for, we're not looking for, hi, I look great in 12 weeks, then I'm going to go back to normal and I'm going to, put 15, 20, 30 pounds back on just to do it all over again because, we know
Right.
that screws with your system. So for the long term, it's the workouts, it's the activity. It is now, that being said, you still have to stay within your maintenance calories or whatever your goals are. If you're still trying to lose, maybe it's a slight deficit. If you're trying to build, especially like the guys, maybe you're adding in extra calories on top of that. But what all the experts are now saying is it's the exercise, it's the activity. Nutrition comes in a far second for that long-term lifestyle. You have to keep moving. You've got to keep doing strength and resistance training, all of that. Again, if you're in a slight deficit because you're trying to still lose some fat, that's a whole different mindset. But if you're looking at maintenance, activity, 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 keep moving, and primarily strength training. So these short-term gains that people get, they can't realistically live like that forever. You're not going to live on 13 or 1400 calories a day, and then you're not going to be in the gym for 3 or 4 hours a day, which a lot of these people do to get these short-term gains. You have to look at what's realistic for you for the long term, I think.
Absolutely. I would say some people have that kind of time. I definitely am not one of them. And I think a lot of times when I would lose weight, I would think that I could go back to how it was and it would like some miraculous way fucking stay off. Like, I wasn't resistance training, but there was like a lot of cardio involved. Like you said, like, you're building up all that sweat equity. And then as soon as the diet was over, I would go back to eat like shit and then be surprised when I gained back all that I lost and then some. It's just you have to keep moving. Like, so yesterday I had a very high day. Like for me, I don't know what it was, and I'm coming off of Shark Week. Usually it's pre-Shark Week when I'm carving up, and I was just eating all the things. I had a craving for hot dogs, and not just the chicken hot dogs. I wanted a fucking hot dog, and those things are fucking calorie dense for not a lot of nutrition for those lips and assholes. Let me tell you, like I love Nathan's hot hot dogs. I do. It was 140 calories. It was 5 grams of protein. And I'm like, it was okay. Honestly, it came down to it's just like it wasn't what I remembered.
No.
How about that? It's not like how I remember it. I put my sauerkraut and mustard on it, and I went about my happy way. I had the buns with it. Those were like 140 calories each. And like my daughter would be like, you can eat those things. Yes, I know. But then it comes into your brain where you start thinking, is it even worth it?
Well, and it
You know what I
should.
mean?
It 100% should. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just like, I think I'd rather have had the chicken hot dog because then I would have had at least twice the amount of protein for less calories. And
Mhm.
it still uses the same spices. So
Yeah.
it's okay. But then, like, I just really wanted a Nathan's. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I got the fucking craving out of the way.
There you go.
you know,
And
and
sometimes
then
you
I
do
ate
that.
everything else along with it. But then I had
Yes.
like 22,000 steps yesterday.
Right.
My dog made me get up and walk at 9 o'clock at night and run
Ooh.
around the field and shit. So I'm
Hey.
just like, okay, well, at least that was something. I was expecting the scale to shoot way the fuck up. It actually dropped today.
Yeah, no joke, because of the salt, right? Just the salt in the freaking hot dogs get you.
That'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. But sometimes it catches up to you. Yeah, I'm like that with hot
Yeah.
dogs. I need one every once in a while burned up on the grill. That's the one
Yeah.
thing. I have it all burned up, so a lot of the fat gets leached out of it. Not saying it's
Okay.
healthy, but
What kind
I
of
want
hot
it
dog do you like
black.
though?
I'm kind of open. We like I may not be saying this. It's been so long since we actually lived somewhere where they say it right. The Kogel Viennas. Yeah. You get those up in
I never heard of
Michigan.
that brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have that snap, like you have to break them apart because 'cause they're
Mhm.
still attached.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
like those. But I grew up on ballparks and nothing burns up on a grill like a ballpark because it's just shit in my opinion. Like it's not the quality is so bad, I'm sure.
Dude, lips and assholes. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
but
just
yeah.
sometimes you need that. Like, Nathan's is kind of like that, or like Sabrettes. Sabrettes I consider dirty water dogs. So those are the ones that you find in New York City on the hot dog carts, and they're
Right.
boiled.
Okay.
And you could see they're boiled so that the grease is leaching out of them.
Yeah.
And they had that snap. I don't know. Now I'm kind of in the mood for that. So let's not talk about
Let's
food
I
again.
know. So I will say so on the food topic though, because, for a year and a half, 2 years, I was really only having gluten every once in a while and it did nothing to change my numbers. Nothing. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going back to eating bread. Can I just say the control I now have over, I should say, the ability to stay within my calorie range and introducing sourdough bread back into my life is so good because I'm not thinking
I love
about it.
sourdough.
I'm not thinking about it. All I thought about whenever I wasn't eating gluten was when can I go get something with gluten in it every couple months just to have that little bit, right? And I wasn't eating
Hmm.
any bread. And so it's like, oh my God, to have that then I don't need that much. So I slice it super thin. So like I'll cut Brian's piece like a normal piece, right? I'll do
Yeah.
two. I'll get thin and it weighs the same, but I feel like I'm having more because it's two. You know what I mean? And it's done it. I'm like, God. And nothing's
Girl,
changed. No more inflammation. Joints don't hurt. I mean, nothing like that. Now, if I were to go overboard and eat a ton of it, I will just probably like anybody else get that bloated, like tired feeling from too much of that. You know what I mean? But
yes.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
really seeing
I
any.
I was gonna say, so that half trick, my mom used to do that with white bread when she was on Weight Watchers. I fucking remember it to this day.
Yeah.
Fucking the slice of Wonder Bread,
Yeah.
slicing it in half so she could have a fucking
Good Lord.
sandwich. I don't know. I think that's almost like a trauma thing for me now. The sourdough I get from my bakery. I was wondering though, like, is there a different component for it? Because, obviously manufactured bread, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
chemicals, blah, blah, blah. But sourdough is really only water and flour.
Right.
It's not even yeast added to it because you're fermenting the bread and everything. So I was wondering, like, is there like a different makeup that doesn't cause you to have issues? I mean,
Well,
it's still gluten, right? But
yeah, I know it definitely is, but I think I don't know, a lot of I hate to use the word influencers, but that just kind of runs the gamut. Like
Mhm.
science based nutrition people, a lot of them they'll eat sourdough, but they won't eat other kinds of breads. So I don't
I'll
know.
eat all fucking bread. I don't give a shit.
Oh,
But like, I like sourdough. But
yeah,
sometimes it's just like it goes back to is it worth it?
yeah, yeah,
Like Tim Hortons up here has bagels. They fucking suck. They do.
yeah. Well,
And
they're
I'm
just
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah,
full
they
of
just manufacture I don't
preservatives.
know what they are, but, like, if I get a New York City bagel, I'm eating the fuck out of it, you
Hell
know?
yeah. There's
I'd
something
rather
about
have
a
a
New York
Lender's
bagel.
yeah, like, I'd rather have a Lender's fucking frozen bagel over that shit. So,
Yeah.
it just depends. I want you, though, to talk about your click moment. Yeah,
Oh
like,
my
those click moments are
God.
so important for us,
Yes.
especially when we're in challenges, and we gotta talk a
Yes.
little bit about this challenge that we're in now, too.
Correct.
But
Yes.
tell us about your light bulb.
Okay. So, as a trainer, I have spent the last 22 years, and I've talked about this in the past, but in case anyone doesn't know this, roller coaster, right? So, when at my, I would say, cardiovascular fittest that I've been, I was in my late 30s, early 40s, and I was teaching, up to, I mean, if I was subbing, I was teaching up to 20 classes a week, but on average, it's like 14-ish, somewhere in there.
So, are we talking, like, hours? Like,
Yes.
14
Of
hours?
just
Okay.
teaching, right? So then I
Right.
probably wasn't actually doing any of my own workouts because I was just teaching. So I'd teach, 4 or 5 spinning classes a week. I was teaching TRX, which at the time it was very cardiovascular, so they'd follow me through the class and you're getting strength in TRX. I do love it, so don't get me wrong, but it's not the same as lifting weights. And then on any of the classes that I might sub where there was weights, they were like 8 pounds at a max. You know what I mean? Nobody was
Mhm.
lifting heavy, and the gyms in the class settings didn't have the big weights. Now, when they introduced body pump and all that shit, they obviously had the plated weights, but I wasn't body pump certified, so I didn't teach anything like that. I taught kickboxing. So again, we're back to cardio. I taught a lot of boot camps, but that was just me barking orders at everybody and waiting for somebody to throw up. So that's kind of what my
Nice.
workout regimen looked like. So over the last I would say 2017, 2018, I got introduced to weightlifting at a gym I was working at. I took classes from it was like small group personal training. But then
Mhm.
I hurt my back. We were doing hip thrusts from the floor, not up on a bench. So it was more like loaded bridges, honestly.
A glued bridge, okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
but I was pushing from the floor and I had never done them before, and you know how you're, like, trying to not I didn't wanna be the old lady in the group even though I was, and I was in my again, that I would have been mid-40s, but I felt like that, and so I would push myself harder than I should have, and then I was still teaching and stuff at a different gym. So I shied away from the strength training until till just a couple of years ago. And then again, same thing. I would do some strength training and then something would get hurt,
Mm.
trying to deadlift or I was trying to do too many, too fast loading, yada, blah, blah.
Right.
Now, this last year, Brian has been my workout buddy. And I have to say, having your partner on board with you makes such a difference because when you're feeling like you don't want to work out, they encourage you. When you're feeling like you want to have a cheat on a meal and they're like, "Are you sure? Does that match your goals?" And we do this for each other, right? Yesterday, as a matter of fact, because Brian's normally no alcohol during the challenge at all. We'd been working outside all day. He goes, "God, we should go get a beer." And I said, "All right, whatever you want to do, like just whatever." He usually talks himself out of it.
The
And then
devil
he
on the
said,
shoulder.
"What does Shauna ever drink between challenges or during challenges?" I said, "Shauna doesn't drink. She quit drinking years ago." And he went,
Mhm.
"Well, maybe we don't need to go then." And I said, "Okay." I like he totally talked himself out of it. And I was just like, "Well,
Right. You're
you
like,
know,
"I could go for a dark beer right now."
yeah, right? It's like, whatever, I don't because I have non-alcoholic ones in the fridge, so if I really wanted it,
Yeah.
I could have that. So that's what we ended up doing, we had one of our non-alcoholics, and he was like, "That totally satisfied," because the problem is it leads into other things. So anyway, that being
Right, right.
said, and then I think too, what ties into all of this is you have influencers like Athlean X, let's use him as an example, like Jeff Nippard. There's a bunch of other ones too that I think are really good. Young people too, some of these younger people. Anyway, having them show you what works and how to do it safely, especially Athlean X. He is, because he's a physical therapist and a strength coach and all these other things, he really hones in on safety, safety, safety. And even Dr. Mike, I was watching him with leg press and he's like, 7 things to not do during a leg press and how to make it safer. So doing those things and listening to these people, Brett Contreras, the glute guy,
Yep.
just giving me this opportunity to, even as a trainer for 22 years, to learn new things and to not rush into
Mhm.
these movements, to master the movement, to feel comfortable, to feel confident, and then to add load has made such a difference. So I am now, and I understand the irony here, people. I get it. I'm a trainer. My life is exercise and fitness and training people. But much like the plumber, I've said this a million times, or the electrician, the plumber has leaky pipes, the electrician has outlets that need to be fixed. The last thing you feel like doing as a trainer is coming home and working
Doing your
out
job.
because it's all you freaking did all day, right?
Mhm.
But now that I'm mostly retired, I'm not working that often. Now that I, first of all, have that visual in front of me from Chatty G, thank you, where it's like showing me what I could look like. And I'm seeing results like in the mirror. And then this is gonna sound completely inappropriate, but I'm touching my booty.
Do it,
So
do it.
I was doing a 90-90 stretch with my class, and I said, "All right, now you're gonna wanna, like, shift that back hip forward," and what I'll tell them to do is put their hand on their glute med, and I'm like, "And you're just kinda, like, tucking that hip or not tucking it, pushing that hip forward," and all of a sudden I went, "Ooh, ooh." Oh my god,
It's
I
like
have
it's like, "Oh."
muscle. So then I just kept
Yep.
rubbing it. I was like, "Oh my god, I got muscle there." So then yesterday, I'm in the mirror and I'm in my underwear I was getting ready to take a shower and I was like, "Whose ass is this? Oh my god. Oh my god." I think that's when I
That's
texted you. I was
awesome.
like, "Oh my god, I
Yep.
have it." Like I'm getting a glute med. So then I'm running to Brian. I'm like, "Put your hand here. Put your hand here." And he's like, "All right." It's like, "Oh my god, I have a butt. I'm starting to build a butt." So then I don't trust it, right? Like I'm going crazy. This can't possibly be happening already. And then I'm on Chatty G and I'm like, "Can you build glute med in 3 weeks of, effort?" And it was like, "Absolutely, of course you can." And holy shit. So I'm thinking, what is going to happen in 12 weeks? And now I'm anxiously awaiting, and this is the aha moment or the click. When is my
Mhm.
next workout? When can I be done with recovery? When
There
can
we
I go
go.
work out? Never in my life. Ever in my life has that happened. So for those that are listening that understand this, that they're the ones that I've constantly, like you, constantly been going, how in the hell do you get up every day and be excited? Not necessarily that you're excited, but have your game face on to go do a workout.
Mhm.
And now I understand it because I told Brian today we're doing farmers carries and we're going to practice pull-ups and we're going to, it'll be more of that like battle ropes kind of shit. And then tomorrow, boom, we're right back in it. I want to see what's going to happen. And I have never, ever, ever, ever felt like this. So, people, it can happen. You can shift your mindset. You can all of a sudden wake up one day and go, "My God, I'm actually looking forward to working out. I'm
Mhm.
anxious to get my workout in." Never happened to me before. It's a moment. Thank you. All right, carry on.
We need applause, applause,
I
applause.
know,
I
right?
li I like the and actually you told it to me a little differently, but we're gonna go back to it because
Okay.
you were just like 'ca it initially started with your arms.
Yes.
You're like
Yes.
because Chatty I think we should, post that. So the picture that she's referring to, we'll post it on our Instagram, is that, basically she has a nice cut arm and everything. She has this funky do and everything. It's like it's fantastic. It's rock star. So that's where it started from
Uh
for
huh.
you. But then now you're like, "Oh shit, I'm getting gains elsewhere. Fuck this.
Hmm.
Like, let's go." That's what keeps me going. Like for this past challenge for me, I didn't think I could do it, but I did 6 days a week of PPL, which is push pull legs. I missed 1 day because I had a dentist appointment. So I did 47 out of 48 workouts. And I think that's where I've actually seen more gains. Now, with this, I wrote out a 5-day split, which is basically a PPL cycling through. And I was almost talking myself back into doing a 6-day a week, but during the summer, I just tend to wanna be outside more or, whatever. So, like, I'm still on the fence for it. I think this coming week, I'm gonna do 5 days just to see how it is, and then I could always switch it back to 6 if I need to. But it's like those click moments, like you were mentioning all the influencers. Sometimes we need to hear it from different areas. They all say the same thing. That's the irony of it. Like, they just say it differently, and, like, maybe how athlete X said it just hit you right as opposed to how, Jeff Nippert said it. You know, it's
Hmm.
the same thing like with Tom's book, and we always refer back to it. It's been referred to as the Bible for, for the fitness stuff for a reason, because all those are the intricacies and like that's what you need to do in order to keep going.
Mm,
It's not just this phase. You keep going doing these same things,
yes.
you know? And they all say the same thing. They just say it a little differently. They put their little spin on it just like we do,
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I think
you
you're
know?
you're exactly right with Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle book and the body fat solution. It's a very basic, down to earth, lots of aha moments, and it's not doesn't dig down into the weeds too much where you get lost. It just makes sense. Now, that being said, I think a lot of people, and I've done it. It's been a hot minute since I did this, and I don't think you did it at all, honestly, in all of your challenges. But a lot of times, probably more often than not, let's be real, people read the book, they apply the principles, they do the
Mhm.
workouts, and then after 12 weeks, if they've done the challenge, for example, if they decide, I'm going back to normal.
Yep.
And you can't. There is no
Nope.
going back to that normal. You're now in a new normal. So you have to live your life in that normal. And
I
that's
was
what
gonna say, let's go back to that visualization. So, like,
Mhm.
that picture totally did it for you, right? And
Yes.
back in the day, it used to be cut your head off, fucking put it on the body that you're trying to go for.
Yes.
Whereas AI basically helped
Oh,
sync them
yeah.
up because sometimes that looks all fucked up,
It
like
does.
you're a white face with a tan body or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, like, but then I also, you know what? I never got that because not that I didn't get it. So, like, let's say I took my head and I put it on, I don't know, Corey Everson's body
Right.
or Rachel, what's her name? Rachel McLean or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking gorgeous figures, right? But they don't have, from what I can tell, the same measurements, right?
Right.
I've always carried heavy on the bottom. So it's just like when I saw Julia Renee, for instance, and she's an IFBB pro currently, but she's young, like she's under 30, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
like she's heavier on the bottom. She is quad dominant. And I'm just like, that's me. I'm
Right.
quad dominant, you know?
Mhm.
So like I'm able to see like what I can
Yes.
look for or achieve, but then I still need to work on a lot of stuff like, like posterior chain. It's always been weak. I have
Yeah.
a desk job. So like, that's why I'm always trying to move and everything like that. And I'm concentrating on, I'm touching my butt now. Like
Mhm.
I'm concentrating how I'm standing so that I'm working it properly as opposed to making things rely on other things. And then
Right.
that's what gets all your fucking body parts all fucked up.
Right? Absolutely. Yeah, because you become hamstring dominant or glute dominant when they should be
I
like
wish, right?
synergistic, right? Everybody should be working
Hmm.
playing nicely together, doing their own damn job.
Exactly.
That way you're not dealing with pain and whatnot. But yeah, so I think going back to you can't just stop. You can't think, oh, well, I'm on vacation, so I'm going to throw caution to the wind because you could easily gain 10 pounds on vacation if you're going for like on a 2-week cruise or whatever it is that you're doing.
But
People,
I think that could be a lot of water weight,
it
like,
can be.
so, like and, like, if you come back from the cruise or whatever it is and get right back into it, or even have, like, that mindset that we talked about a few weeks ago that Alex Parker does, right? He takes a bite of something, he's just like, "Not worth it,"
Yep.
and he's good. Like, I'm like, I'm waiting for that fucking aha moment, but everything tastes good to me, so I don't know. Like,
It's all good.
it's just like, okay. I guess like even last night or whatever, like I had the hot dogs. I had the two because of the protein. I needed it. But then I got to a point where I didn't even want the bun anymore. And like I stopped eating the bun. So it's just like you have those little moments like, okay, I'll stop here.
Right.
But on the cruises and whatnot, I think a lot of that is sodium. A lot of times I never been on one, but, like, if you don't make it a point to go work out, you're just lounging around drinking and taking
Mhm.
advantage of your fucking drink package and shit like
Oh,
that.
hell
Yeah,
yeah.
you can
No, it's
easily
easy.
gain some fat on
You're
there.
because oh, you can because
Mhm.
you have nonstop food all the time at your disposal and the drinks. So when Crystal and I did our we did the Mediterranean cruise a couple of years ago, we got the drink package. No joke, we were drinking those mudslides all day. Soon as we got back from
Those
our
are high.
excursion,
Yeah.
oh my God. So yeah, you're just like, so it's easy. I mean, what was it? Oh, the one day. So Leighton and I were, on this trip to Denver and ended up partaking in some extra yummy things. And I sat down and I calced everything. I kept track of everything I ate. It was 3,000 calories. And we didn't have that particular day. There was no alcohol. It wasn't like we were going crazy. We had stopped and gotten Mediterranean food for lunch. And I did get French fries because, it's chips and salsa or fries, one or the other. But then I
Yes.
didn't eat the pita and I got chicken and the veggie and I got the salad. And so you can pick and choose and still hit
Yes.
3,000 calories with no problem whatsoever,
No problem.
So,
Yeah.
we just stayed active. And so we came back. I was a pound and a half up. And then by the time 2 days went by, like you said, with the salt, and I'm sure we went from Denver back here, here to Denver, back here again, and I'm drinking a ton of water to fend off the altitude sickness and all that, and I probably peed a pound and a half out by the time I got home. But anyway, but yeah, so it's very easy to do that, but I think they use these challenges to convince themselves that they're on the right track. But in the 8 to 10 weeks between the challenges, they act like they haven't learned anything. And
Mhm.
again, I'm guilty of having done that in the past, but this last year and a half, not so much, year and a half, 2 years almost. There has to come a point when you don't use the challenge as a crutch, but more of a way to just stay connected with people who think like you, and that you don't stop doing it when you're done. And I'm not trying to be super judgy here. That's not the point. Is not to say, "Oh, you don't take it seriously, so you're not worthy." That's not what I'm saying. It's when do you treat yourself like you're worthy and say, "This needs to be a
Mm.
lifetime commitment," and that, "Yes, I've got this wedding planned, I got this meal planned, we're going here, we got vacation," and to be able to say, "Okay, while I'm on vacation, I'm gonna look." So this is what Leighton and I did. We went to Vasa Fitness one of the mornings. There was a gym in the hotel, but literally it was the size of a bedroom, maybe a little bedroom. And
Usually,
it
yeah.
had 3 treadmills, an elliptical, and then a water station, a bench that you had to manipulate in order to set it up, and then a stack of dumbbells. Well, we made it work the first day, but I said, "Oh my god, I we need to have something better." So we went to Vasa the next time. You can do
Okay.
that. There is an Anytime Fitness probably in every town these days. If not, there's a way to work out. You can go down to the beach, you can do stairs, there's a million body weight exercises you
Mhm.
can do to stay fit. But people go, "Oh, I'm on vacation, I don't feel like doing that." You could offset so much of your caloric intake by exercising while you're there and make it
Yep.
fun. Make it fun,
Yeah.
but do something. Don't just go, I'm on vacation. I don't feel like it." Because this is the mindset. We get back, we've gained that 8 to 10 pounds, whatever it might be. And granted, some of it is water weight. Who cares? If our mind says, "You're a freaking loser, you gained 10 pounds,
Yes.
the next challenge doesn't start for 6 weeks. You might as well enjoy the next six
Let it
weeks.
go.
Let it
Yep.
go." But you haven't learned anything. And your body's like, "Come on, man. When are you going to get it?"
Remember how you were feeling good before, and then, like, it
Yes.
goes back to a few months ago when we are saying, like, "This is how you used to always feel."
Yes.
Like, when you ate like shit or whatever, this is how you always felt. And why do you wanna continue to feel like that when you know eating your whole foods and not even being in a deficit, just eating all your whole foods, nutrient dense, made you feel better?
Yes.
Less inflammation and all that other stuff, you know?
Absolutely. I know.
Like, it's just I think I had it during our first challenge. So this is what, 3 years now that I've been doing the challenges, and it or is it 4 now? I don't even know. So back in 2023, I think that's when like the light bulb moment clicked for me because like I was still in a very much weight loss phase, and I'm like, "Oh shit, it doesn't stop at 12 weeks." It's
No.
just like, "Oh yeah, like duh." And I think that's why I continued in between challenges. And maybe I didn't lose as much in between as opposed to during because like
Mhm.
you feel like you had to lock in. But in 2024 during the summer challenge, I got down to my lowest. And I've since then I'm about 10 to 15 pounds heavier
Okay.
right now. But I would also say I use two different methods of measuring. So this is important too, right? A lot of people will fluctuate between their Navy method, which is basically measuring body circumference, to using a caliper, which I don't recommend because you're not going to get an accurate measurement, and your body fat scales, right? Which are notoriously inaccurate for measuring your body fat percentage. So I used to have a Renpho, which was only the feet electrodes. I now have a Hume. We always have a love-hate relationship with these things, and it has the hand and feet sensors. So during that 2024 phase, I want to say it had me at 30% body fat, even though I was down to 141. I was like maybe at 29 or something like that. That was my goal, was to get below fucking 30. But with the feet sensors, it's only measuring the bottom half, you know? So, and I have like a lot of fucking shit going on down here. So it made me feel some kind of way, honestly. And it kept on dropping my LBM. And I had no idea back then, like why it kept on dropping it. But it was because the lower carb glycogen stores weren't where they were supposed to be. And then now my body fat is showing at 26%, even though I look heavier. But that's because, according to measurements and whatnot, I gained muscle.
Which
Which
makes
is what you
sense.
want.
Which
Yeah.
visually, we can see that. You have
Yeah.
gained
So like
muscle since then. Big time.
so like and that's what I want. Like this weight on the scale is just your gravitational fucking force. You know what I mean? That's all it is. That you had to come to that realization that the weight on the number on that scale doesn't fucking matter. You
Mm-mm.
have to like what you see and how you feel.
Uh-huh.
That's your ultimate click moment. You know what I mean? Because like that number on the scale used to fucking drive me home. Like I would wake up, and we've all had it, right? You wake up and you're like, damn, I'm feeling fucking svelte today.
Yes.
You know? And you get on the scale and you're fucking up 3 pounds and you're like, what the fuck? Now I'm not so svelte. I'm going to eat that fucking Twinkie, right?
Right?
So don't have those moments.
Okay, I'm gonna run off of that real quick because I'll
Yes.
forget, and this actually ties in. I'm not squirreling. So
Do it. Do it.
Brian is renewing his medical for his pilot's license, which that's a whole hullabaloo. At any rate, so the question was, how much do you weigh, and how tall are you? Well, Brian's a hobbit. We're both hobbits. That's why we hobbit. He's 5'5.5". He weighs 160 pounds. And for those of you that have seen his pictures on the website, Brian is fucking jacked at this point. Like, I have
Yep.
never seen him like this.
Yep.
He is so ripped that we're at the gym, and I bought him tank tops for myself, I must say. We're at the gym and I'm like, I'm going home with that. Like that. And I told him, I said, that's
Nice.
another reason I want to get fit is I need to match that shit. I don't want it to be like we're out in public and people are going, what the hell is he doing with that old hag, right? Like, nope,
Stop it.
I'm going to be ripped too. Anyway, so the question was, what do you weigh? How tall are you? It came back and told him based on BMI, he's overweight at 160. So then
Do
what's
not
that
believe
do?
that fucking chart,
What's that
people.
do, right? So then it says if you were 155, like, so he punched in 155, that put him in normal or healthy or whatever. And I'm like, he said, how screwed up is that? He said, what if this was my insurance? Let's say my insurance company was
Right.
trying to determine my health and they can't see me. And so they're basing it on my weight. I go, yeah, because you could be some little skinny, scrawny thing that if the wind blows too hard, you fall over it. 35, based on being 5'5.5". So that's messed up. And he actually
Yeah.
put 5'6" in there because he always rounds up. So he put
So do I.
5'6".
It's okay.
And he said even at 5'6" and 160, it still put him in, overweight. And that could mess with you. And then
A lot of
you know.
bodybuilders have said that though, because like, and you look at them and they're fucking massive and they're
Uh-huh.
not fat. They're
No.
massive and their BMI is fucking shot to shit. And like, that's how old is that fucking metric?
Right?
Fucking 50 years old, if not more. Fucking probably more than that. And people still use it
Yeah.
because the majority of the population does not have the muscle mass. Like, think about it. If you are actually one who works out, and depending on what, your age group is and all that other shit, you are in the fucking top 5%, bitches.
Oh, 100%.
Top 5% of people who fucking work out or who are consistent. And that's what you're trying to go for, right? I've always said it. Consistency is key. Sustainability, right? 6 days a week, maybe like right now, I know people who work out 7 days a week. I say, fucking more power to you. You got that kind of
Amen.
time, fucking have at it. That's not me. Like
Nope.
6 days a week I was surprised that I did it. Honestly, I was surprised I could do it. I'm only going back to 5 days because it's summer. I figure maybe like it's like a deload phase for me. And like I said before, I was toying with the idea of continuing on with the 6 days a week, but then I got to my second leg day, and, this was on Thursday, a couple of days ago, and I was just like, "Yeah, I can't wait to do 5 days." Like, cause like, Thursday with me, I'm having Thursdays and Sundays off, so it's just like, yeah, I can't wait to have just a regular day where I can maybe throw in some cardio because I've been trying to get in the HIIT sessions, and I just don't have the time for it. Like, after a workout, I had to get ready for work and everything, so I don't know, like, it depends on what it fluctuates, right? And then I think Rochelle mentioned it in our group chat, and she's just like, a lot of times people need a goal, right?
Mm.
And like, so she would always be able to formulate a workout because like let's say she had a race to go for. So if you have a race, like you're a runner, you know what you need to do in order to prepare for that race. But then if you don't have a set goal in mind as, I don't know, muscle building or something like that, then how do you formulate your workouts to accommodate something that you don't know what you want to achieve?
Well, and I think it just needs to be well-rounded at that point. You need to try to
Right.
hit all the major muscle groups, and you need
It
to, at
becomes
a
full body
minimum.
workouts.
Absolutely, and at a minimum, for those who are cramped on time, a really strong, not, 5 pounds, but a good a strong workout, total body workout, you can get away with 1 time a week if that's all you got, but you gotta have something.
Yeah.
Ideally, 2 times a week does great, and if you can do more, awesome, but having a focus, and again, guys, you gotta lift heavier than, I mean, it's one thing to start out, which nobody, I don't think anybody that's listening is just starting out probably, but I don't let any of my clients go less than 5 pounds on anything. So, 5 pounds would be lateral raises if that's like,
A gallon of milk is 8. So
yes, yes,
your
thank
minimum has
you.
to be that,
Mhm.
you
So, yeah,
know?
I had one of my clients, she's, almost 80. I had her curling 10-pound dumbbells the other day, and she fussed
Yes.
the whole time, but you know what? She did it. She was like, "I'm
She
gonna
fucking
need to
did it.
take Advil today," and I said, "Well, whatever you gotta do, girl, but guess what? You're stronger. You're getting stronger.
Tell
10 pounds, so."
I would say, like, if they could avoid the Advil because, like, the inflammation actually helps you
I
get
know.
your
I
strength
think
up
she was
from
being a
what I
smart
had.
ass, but yeah,
I hope so. But, like, even, like, everybody talks about my arms. I'm only curling, like, fucking 15-pound weights.
right.
I'm just trying to make it like in her challenges or, like, in her workouts, she has different it's not always regular bicep curls. Like, I'm
No.
doing incline, which fucking kill my elbows, but, like, incline curls,
Mhm.
which totally, like, elongate your, bicep. It all depends on how you're working out that muscle, and you actually have to enjoy the workouts.
Right.
Like, if you a lot of times, like, if I was doing the same workout for, like, 12 weeks, I'm fucking bored as fuck.
Mhm. That's
Like,
common.
so yeah, and a lot of times people might, actually, let's go into like, do you know about mesocycles and
Mm.
microcycles and stuff? So we were talking about this in my other chat too. So like, can you get into like what a mesocycle is and
Oh,
what a
I'm not versed enough. I
okay.
know what they are, but to get
You know
into
what they
all
are.
of
So,
them, but
like,
they're
I
like
was thinking
short,
about
yeah,
that too. Yeah,
yeah,
so, like, a mesocycle is basically like a 6 to 12-month program, right? You have an intention in mind.
right,
Like, the best example would be Mark. Mark went intentionally on a muscle building fucking phenomenal phase, right?
right.
He's like, "I'm in a slight surplus. I'm fucking gonna be jacked. That's it." And he fucking did it because he was lifting heavy enough to do so. And then I think that's where I got into this now, like where I'm just like, I'm more concentrating on my muscles as opposed to losing fat. Although sometimes I just feel some kind of way and I'm just like,
But that's the
maybe
extra
I should go to
skin.
deficit.
It's the extra skin is part of that
Eh,
frustration. You got a booty.
it's the water.
It's the same with Brian with his hernia. I'm like, once you get that repaired, which he's getting repaired in November, I said, you're going to feel a whole different way about how your abdominals look because right now it's pooched out. Like,
And all right, so fuck it, I don't care. So like people, this is what like I have this is fat too, right? But there is skin. Like a lot of people are like, oh, your stomach's so flat. Yeah, I'm hiding it behind fucking
lycra.
pants. Right, exactly. It helps. And then
Yes.
like I suck it in, but like you
Right.
can also see I have the fucking abs coming in,
Yeah.
you know?
But
Do I want to
most
see like a six pack? Meh, I don't care.
most
But
women
I
our
just want this
age
gone.
want this. So you're killing it with the arms because
Well, yeah,
literally
because, like, I never carried it up here,
yes,
right? So, like,
right?
you could
Look at
see
that.
this.
Fuck.
You could see this, which is what I want, right? But
Yeah.
then, like, down here, like, and obviously I had pants up, but, like, you will see, um, what do you call it? Cellulite or whatever.
Right.
Fucking, I was brain farty. Like, you could see all of it here because this is where I've always carried my weight. So for everybody, this is going to be different, right? Like a
Mhm.
lot of females, you need to, and it goes for men too, right? You need to worry about your circumference here.
Mm,
You do.
big
It
time.
has to be, what was the number? Like below 35, you waist?
Below isn't it below 40 for men and 35 for women?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, that's what you really need to, because, like, this is where all your visceral fat is being stored. This is all, it's just a lot of weight, you know?
Yes. If you've got
And
that
then,
drum belly where it's super duper
yeah,
tight in your
right here.
belly,
Mhm.
and that's mostly guys that tend to get that, and it's pushing out, that's the visceral fat. So that is going
Yeah.
to require quick addressing because
Yes.
that is the unhealthiest fat, whereas women tend to put it on our hips.
And we're always going to have it like heavier. I think a lot of Jeremy Epier, he had some really good videos, and even Jeff Nipper did too, where they did the whole DEXA scans, and they're
Mhm.
like, this is what, I don't know, 25% body fat looks like on her versus on her,
Mhm.
or on him versus him. And like, it just depends on where your body is. So, like, until you lose fat, you don't know exactly what kind of shape you have, and if you're building muscle, you can change the shape of your body.
Yes.
Like the other day, I was in my Our Lady's office or whatever. She's just like, "Your arms." I was like, "Thank you." And she's just like, she goes, "I'm trying for that too," And she is an ectomorph, and I don't know if the sonotypes, like, there's different fucking schools of thought about the sonotypes and everything, but she's more of an ecto, so she's very tall and thin, and she's like, "I want that."
Well,
I
she
was
can
just like,
get
"I
it.
lift."
Stacy
You can totally
Sims,
get it.
look at Stacy Sims. Her
Yeah.
arms are she just sits there. She's like asleep. Her
Yes.
arms probably look like that. She's not doing anything. She's not flexing. She's
Right.
just sitting there. But
No,
she's
and
tiny and
that's what you
she's a
want, right?
cyclist, Yeah. Yeah, so
Oh,
it's
yeah, so,
possible.
like, and that depends too, right? Like, what your goals are, because,
Yeah.
like, a cyclist or a runner, they'll have different goals, but then they're gonna work on their muscles differently, right, in order to achieve those goals,
I
right? It
think
doesn't make
yeah,
sense for them to be bulky because they need the lightness, but
right.
they can still work on their muscles and
Oh
still
yeah.
strength train.
Absolutely. And they have to. And they unfortunately, I think for a lot of them, they have to eat more because they're burning so much in their
Right.
sport. They have
They
to
get to
eat
eat all the
more.
carbs.
I
What the
know.
fuck?
They do. They
We
do.
we got into
So
the wrong fucking thing. I don't know. Like, I I love, like, what do you call it? When I go on the long bike rides, I love it because, not because I get to eat afterwards, but I'm not hungry until maybe, I don't know, maybe a halfway through,
mhm.
3/4 of the way through. But then I usually don't bring any food or anything like that. I just have my water bottle, and maybe that's something I should reconsider if I'm going on those long
On
bike
the
rides.
longer
But
ones.
usually, like, yeah, like, but usually we'll stop somewhere, like, tie the bikes up and then fucking have some lunch
Right.
you
There
know?
you go.
So, yeah, I like those moments. Like, today's supposed to be really nice. I'm hoping my writing buddy is gonna be up for it, but then if she's not, then we might do the, Niagara Gorge, John and I, do some
Fun.
walking. Yeah.
We're buying a
What?
camper. They're delivering it on Wednesday.
Yay!
So then we'll be able to
Shit.
come up. We'll come up and visit you guys. So
Yes.
yay!
Yes. I
Totally
love
forgot about
that.
that. Yeah, it's a Canadian camper. It's called the
Hey?
Alto. It's just a little teardrop, but there's a bed for the
Yes.
dogs. I do have to climb over Brian to go pee at night, but I'm like, whatever. But we can also attach, it has a tent that attaches to it. So worst case scenario, we put the dogs in the tent. I sleep on the twin if I feel like I'm going to be up 8 million times. But yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited. Finally, we've been
That's
talking about
awesome.
this for 10 years and we never do it. And we finally found one that I'm like, I can pull it with my Honda. I went and got a hitch put on and oh, I'm so excited.
Really?
Yes,
That light,
yes.
huh?
It's like 1,700 pounds or something light or dry.
Dude, I don't even think my Forester can fucking pull 1,700.
No.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
It's all-wheel drive 2016 Honda Pilots.
Yeah.
Apparently it can go up to 5,000 pounds, but we're still, you got to figure even with the trailer and then the hitch weight. I don't understand all this shit. All I know is they pull it
Yeah,
with an
yeah, yeah.
Outback, and they've owned it since 2018, and they pull it with an Outback.
Okay.
And they went to Maine. They've been to Michigan, up into the, northern part of Michigan. They've been out west. So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm
Anyway, so
excited for
sorry,
you.
that was a side note, but yeah, it's one
No,
of
that's
those
awesome.
things we've been saying we're going to do forever, and then we never ever do. I want to backtrack for 1 second. You were talking about for our age groups and all of that, where we fitness wise and how that's, the top
Oh,
5%
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever the thing.
Yeah.
There was a guy on Instagram or YouTube, one or the other, and I may have sent this to you, where he was showing a graph, and he was like,
Yes.
if you're in your 20s and you're fit, this
Very
is the
small.
distance
Yeah.
between you and everybody else. It goes here. Basically, they said by the time you get to your 60s, if you're fit, you're a fucking unicorn. That's what he said. He
Yeah.
was just like, and
It's
he's like,
true, though.
beyond that, like beyond the 60s, he's like, you're an alien. Like nobody's ever seen you before. Brian was talking about how he's getting treated differently now. And I know damn straight you get treated differently than you remember being getting
Yes.
treated before. And we've talked about this a
Yep.
little bit. How you carry yourself is one thing. I think, you carry yourself
Yes.
more confidently. But Brian was talking about how people are nicer to him, that he'll get in a line and somebody might be being cocky to somebody in front of him, and then they'll turn around and be like, hey man, how's it going? And I had seen, there was a video, I was dying. It was, I think, Australia. This guy walks up and he meets a friend. He goes, this is how it feels once you get in shape. And the friend goes, hey man, how you been? How you been? And man, have you been working out? And the guy goes, why, yes, I have. And he goes, well, you look real good. He goes, hey, maybe we should get together sometime for a beer, And he's like, yes. And then the guy the rest of the day is like this. And he's playing some Bee Gees music in
He's
the
like,
background.
all
I'll
like-
send it to you. I was dying.
Yes.
Because I go, Brian, that's you. 100% you. He's like, yay. Not because,
I think it's just,
It's
no, just a matter of how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
I was going to say, but like, it's unfortunate, right? Because like it's always the first impressions, and everybody always says it, right? Like, dress for how you want to work or
Absolutely.
get the job that you want and all that other stuff. I don't think I ever got it. How about that? Like, I think I always try to hide in the background. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't want to be seen. And I don't know. And God only knows. Like, we were talking about it because I went to the mall. I think that's where it came from. I went to the mall and I was wearing like an Ed Hardy crop top, and like, like it kind of exposed my belly, but like it was more or less like hitting my jeans, right? And sometimes, the belly would come out, but like the amount of midriffs of all shapes and sizes that I saw at the mall was astounding, right? And I don't know if I don't know if it's a good or bad, right? I don't know. Like, because
That's how I feel.
back in the day, you had to be skinny, and I don't mean fit. I just mean you had to be skinny in
Mhm.
order to, show your midriff, right? But like I saw all shapes and sizes, and they all had the confidence. They did not care. Like
Mm-mm.
their belly is fucking out, fupa
Right.
and all. Like they
Right.
didn't fucking care. And like I admire that body positivity and confidence. But I think a lot of times it gets misconstrued, because even though you're body positive and confident, just make sure that you're healthy.
Right.
And that's the thing I worry about, because like you're all fine and dandy now because you're in your 20s, but then later on, it doesn't translate so well.
Mm-mm.
Especially, and like, this is coming from someone who has been overweight and struggled with their weight for fucking years, right?
Mhm.
In my 20s, I got down to, I was skinny fat, fucking, and I was still kind of heavy on the bottom. And then like 30s, you start losing your muscle and stuff. And, it's a slippery slope from there.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
admire the all the midriffs and stuff. I'm still trying to have that confidence. Like, like, I don't know, like, does Brian feel some kind of way when he wears his tank tops? Like, is
Yes
he,
and no. So
yeah.
he puts the tank top on, and I think it's so new to him too that he'll be in the mirror
Right.
and he said, he said, this is a problem for me. He said, I still feel fat. And I'm like,
Yes.
because I said, I really think it's because of your hernia. And I think for you, it's because of the extra skin. But
Yeah.
he's like, I still feel fat. I still see myself as being
I still see
overweight
myself-
and unhealthy.
Body
Maybe is a
dys-
better way to say it.
Yep.
He's like, so I don't see this. But then at the same time, he
You
can look
see
in
it
the
'cause you
mirror and
catch
he's
your
like,
glimpses in
yeah,
the mirror
and he's
and
like,
stuff.
whoa,
Yes.
look at my shoulders and holy shit, I
Right.
feel tight. I go, Brian, trust me. when I say, "You've never looked like
She's
this."
like, "You're looking like
I'm
a
like,
snack, Brian,
"You never look
okay?"
like this." I'm like, "I'm not joking. Sorry, guys. Sorry if anybody's offended, but I'm literally at the gym going, 'We need to go home right now. What's
I
up?
think that's fucking
What's
phenomenal
up?'"
because, like, it's just like that's the thing, right? So like Brian, I'm sure, and I think a lot of us, if you've gone from one to the other, right? And especially the longer that we're here, and that goes back to the beginning of what we were talking about before, like visualizing yourself. You have to start living the life that you want to live now, right?
Yes.
Don't wait until you lose the weight. In order to get to that place, you have to start doing it now, and that's where it comes back to like your visual. So like, you, Bridget, you're visualizing your arms and all that other shit.
Mhm.
So now you're doing those things
Yes.
in order to achieve that, right?
Yes.
Eating right, cutting down on the gluten or whatever, because that obviously makes you feel better. But doing all the strength training exercises that you needed to do in order
Yes.
to get to that place.
I'm
And I think
trying.
a lot of times those clicks are going to happen for everybody. But like, I'll catch myself in the mirror or a window and I'm like, I am fucking small.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't see myself as being small, because like I think of
You're
the number on the
ripped. You're not
scale.
small. You're
Right.
ripped.
Right. No, right. I'm ripped or jacked or whatever. Right. Like I don't want to, but like I, I don't know, like if I can explain it any better. Like, and small not being a bad thing. It's just compared to where I was,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
250 pounds. That's like 100 pounds ago. You
It's
know what I mean?
insane,
Like,
and it's not just like,
it's
"Oh, you
insane.
lost the fat." You virtually
No, you had to
changed
change your
your whole
fucking
body.
physique.
You
Yes.
did.
And
You've
you
done it.
can do that. Thank you.
Yes, you
But
can
like,
do it.
this is something that you can do, people. It's just that you have to have that long term thought in mind. Like,
Yes.
this
Like,
is
this
what I
could take
want.
me a year. This could take me
This could
longer.
take
It
you a
just
year. This is
yeah.
not 12 weeks
But look how
here.
fast a year goes. A year goes by so goddamn
Oh, fuck. Shit. We're in
fast.
fucking June.
I
Hi.
know. It goes so fast. And to think about
So
that,
fast.
like, "Oh my god,
What are
look
you
what."
going to be doing
Yes.
in between all that, right? Like you
Right.
could be gaining more weight and shit, or you could be working on your physique. Like, and I used
Yes.
to go through those bulk and cut things, and I'm just like, I think that's where it got fucked up because some people can do that. Like Mark has the fucking determination and the fucking grit to do that, whereas I didn't understand my nuances. So now I know what I need to do in order
Right.
to get the physique that I want, and
Yes.
and sometimes it takes a couple years. And what do you got? You got fucking time, right?
You do, and you're always
Hopefully.
striving for better, and you don't stop. You don't go, "I'll
You
just
don't
wait
stop.
until the next thing." No, just keep going, do what you can, do something. And
Mhm.
guys, like, I'm gonna put the picture up. That's the
Yes.
picture, right? And we'll put it on the thing too. It took a few times to get that, but I cannot express enough how much having that visual for me is helping here because I
Yes.
believe it now. It's not just like, "Oh, so I could try to get in shape." Like, I see that and I'm like, "That freaking looks like me, but cuter
Yes.
and in better shape." So I'm just like, "Okay,
You're
I could
always
be
cute,
there."
but, like, I think you should totally rock that hair
Oh,
too.
I
Like,
am.
when
Well,
you
I
get
already got
those
it all
arms.
cut. It's just I
Yeah,
gotta get it highlighted. It's not
you
till
gotta get
July.
it highlighted. Oh my
But,
god.
yeah, so I'm like, "Okay, I can visually see that." And I talked about this a few weeks ago that this guy, Jeff, who won Body for Life, he was in the video. If anybody ever watched the VHS tape of the video, you can probably still find it online, but his name was Jeff.
Way ba
And he's
you
the
said
one
VHS, don't date ourselves,
right?
right?
Beta. So
Yeah. Oh my
he's the
god.
one that taped his head to the body he wanted, and he kept saying that and I know this now, I understand this. He
Yep.
said, "I got so used to seeing in my head, like I'm seeing this in my head, that when I look in the mirror," and this is what he said, "that when I look in the mirror right now, because I'm not there yet, I'm like, whose body's that? I look like this. I look like this. I don't look like
Yes.
this." And so he would be shocked. And then eventually he got to the point where he looked better than the picture. He was more ripped than the picture. And Bill Phillips was like, "I don't know what you're talking about because that picture, you're already more jacked than that."
Wow.
So it can happen, and it happens faster. The changes start to happen. You get super excited. And I know the first time I lost weight back in the day, I remember shaving my legs. I'd gotten down from like 175 to 145. And I was shaving my legs and I was like, "Ooh, they're
Yeah.
skinny." You know what I mean? Like these, and
Yep.
then like I told you yesterday, my thighs aren't rubbing together anymore. These are
Yes.
little subtle things that you go, "Oh," like when I touched my butt and I went, "I have a glute medius. Look at this."
It's
I
like,
was
oh
like,
my god, it's always there.
fabulous, like, wow. Those changes happen fast with effort, and, you're staying within your
Consistency.
caloric range. I'm eating 18 to 1900 calories a day, give or take.
Mhm.
That's where I'm at. And that's where I'm going to hang. I have Hashimoto's. They don't recommend going super low. Some of the numbers have come back that I should be higher, closer to maintenance, even. I'm kind of sitting at that 1800 ish range. I'm comfortable there. I'm
Yeah.
happy there. I feel satisfied. I'm getting my protein in. I feel good. Now, if I wanted to go balls to the wall, I'd be down at 1500 calories. They don't recommend that with Hashimoto's because it can really
Mhm.
screw you up. So, or any thyroid stuff going on, you got to be really careful about that. You can't do that long term. You need to
Right.
be realistic. What can you live with? Well, if my maintenance calories on any given day in the summer are 2000, 2200, then 1800 for me is a slight deficit. And that is something I can 100% live with while I'm doing this amount of strength training and still getting in, like yesterday was close to 20,000 steps. So, you have to be realistic about what you can do for the long haul, because if not, guys, you're going to get done and then it's going to be eat all of the things. Eat all of the
Yeah.
things. I've been resisting. No, just live your damn life, but be realistic about it. You can't have 4 beverages in a day without something going wrong. For me, if I did
Mhm.
one beverage right now, I'd be like, let's eat all of the onion rings. So
All the chips and salsa.
all the chips and salsa, all
All
of
the
it.
Yeah, but I think that's a perfect point that you made is a lot of times you'll see the influencers saying what I eat in a day, and it's like sometimes it's astronomical amount. Like, and if you talk to anybody who's actually trying to purposely put on muscle, it's almost a full-time job just to try to eat that much. Like they go into this crazy surplus. I also agree, like I've been eating around 1900 calories, even though macro factor said I should be eating around 1600. I haven't been there yet, but it says my maintenance right now is around 1890, which I don't know if I totally believe, but we'll let them play with, those numbers and stuff. I'm feeling comfortable where I'm at right now.
There you go.
I think would I like 5 pounds gone? I'm good with, I want to get to 150. I don't know how much of a deficit I really want to be in to get to said number. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, you know,
Based
I'm
on
I'm
your
here.
summertime exercise regimen, your walking and then your strength training, for
Yeah.
you, I really think that at 1800, you're probably in a deficit. So I think you're like
That's
right
what
where
I
I'm
would
at.
think too.
You're where I'm at.
Yeah.
We're like the same
Ex-
height. You have a lot
yeah,
more muscle than I
exactly.
do, but.
But then how much protein are you eating?
For me, I can tell you, hang on.
It's like, yeah, so let's look
I
at our
think
apps.
I started using the Fitness Chef app and I really like it and it's super cheap right now.
Okay.
I'm still getting
Let's
used to
see.
it though. Think protein wise, let's see here if I can get it pulled
Are
up.
you doing a week or a month?
What do you mean? I gotta
Are you,
look.
are you averaging a week for a month? So, like over the past month for me, I've averaged 1851 calories. Now, of course, people, if you're not tracking accurately, then you don't know.
Right?
I like to hide my bites, licks, and tastes sometimes. So I've been really good. Like even yesterday, I had a fucking, you don't even want to know. Yesterday, I had like 280 grams of carbs. Like I was high. Like I usually try to keep it around 200.
Mhm.
And then but it was all coming from junk. I'll
Right?
tell you right now, it was coming like I had some Halo Top ice cream, I had some potato chips, but I also threw in there strawberries, I had my
Yeah.
apple, I had my sourdough bread, I had Nathan's crinkle cut fries, which are so fucking good. I just needed the little pitchfork, and if you know, you
Mm.
know. The hot dog bun was there, like there's like a lot of these calorie dense foods that if I was eating whole foods or like, a lot of fruit and vegetables, I wouldn't be able to have eaten all that stuff.
Right.
So like when you talk about your calories, you want to make sure that they're coming from really good sources as opposed to because like you can eat a Starbucks fucking frappuccino and a fucking bagel, and that's already 1,000 calories
Yeah, you've already
right
eaten
there.
them
And then
all.
you're like, oh, but I hardly eat. No, you did. You ate half of your calories in one sitting.
Mhm. No,
It's
I've
easy
been
to do.
averaging so point 0.7 to point 0.8 grams per pound of body
Okay.
weight. So anywhere from 100 grams to 125. I have it set at
Okay.
125. So it's close to a gram. And some days I went
I
over, just depended on what we had for lunch and dinner that day. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. And I start my day with Greek yogurt with a scoop of protein powder in it, almonds, chia seeds, fresh fruit, and then either a half an ounce of lemon curd or a half an ounce of raspberry preserves or a half an ounce of honey. It's whatever I
Yeah.
have. And I mix
Okay.
it all in. That's what I eat every single morning. I love it. And if I don't have it, I took it with me
That's the
to
other part
Denver.
of it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that's the other part of it, right? Like
yeah.
if you will eat the same food, and I fucking swore that I could never do this, but you do it.
Yeah. Well, it's
You
like
eat the
what you
same
like.
fucking food every day, and especially if like my oatmeal, I eat it. Like I got very sad. I had to make something with rolled oats, and it tasted like it did not come out thick at all. I don't, and I followed the measurements, but it was more like if you ever had the fruit, not fruity pebbles, cocoa pebbles cereal,
Yes. Yes.
soggy in milk. That's what it tasted like. So like, it wasn't. I don't know. I just prefer my steel cut, but it was like you eat the same foods every fucking day. You say
Yeah.
that you don't want to fucking do it, but you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You,
We shake up lunch and or dinner. It just
hmm
depends, but generally
I
speaking, for
do.
lunch, because by the time I'm hungry, Brian's just now making like his breakfast sandwich. So then I'll go, okay, well, I'll have a
Okay.
couple eggs and two slices of bacon and a piece of toast. Or before, I would just have that with a corn tortilla. I would make myself a little cheese quesadilla, and that would be my toast, and have it with some guacamole. And then that ties us over till dinner, which tends to be later in the summer, unfortunately. And then we mix that up. I mean, that could be anything. Like tomorrow, we're doing grilled chicken, and I'm gonna try to make my potato salad healthier with light mayonnaise with mixed with Greek yogurt and see how it turns out.
Yeah.
I'll still put bacon in it, but it will be considerably less just because we're trying to watch it and we still want that taste though, that summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't,
anyway,
I, don't- I don't do those. Like I definitely. Ooh, that made me think of German potato salad now.
there you
See,
go.
squirrel. I think I'm making chicken, like, but we meal prep a lot because, like, I don't get home until later, so I don't
Mhm.
eat. I bring all my meals to work, you
Right.
know. But I also noticed that when I'm not at work, my weekends are less structured. And that's something that I continue to work on, right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I give myself the free pass. Like I had the hot dogs yesterday. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, you know what? I really need to reel it in. Like today, I don't even know what's for dinner tonight. I didn't defrost anything. I just defrosted my chicken for meal prep.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
and I think that that's life, right? Do you
hmm
let the eating 2 hot dogs yesterday make you go, "I'm a loser, I'm done, I'm just gonna throw
I'm
caution to
eating
the wind"?
1,200 calories. No, fuck
No.
that. Because I'm planning a bike ride or a fucking long walk. So it's
Yeah,
just like,
so
I need my
it's
food.
you have to shift that mindset. So I just hope that people that are listening understand, what it takes. I worry people will say that they're doing certain programs or they're on a diet or whatever and trying to lose weight, but they aren't weighing their food. They're not measuring, they're not logging, and it's like,
Right.
if you are a freaking pro, like at this point, honestly, I can look at something, it freaks Brian out. We've talked about this. I can go, that's 3 ounces, that's 4 ounces. I can tell,
Yep.
but I still measure because I
I
want to
still
be
measure.
sure. I don't want
Yes.
to be like, because guys, seriously, scooping out yogurt, you scrape that little bit off your spoon that's still on there. That can be anywhere from point 0.2 to point 0.4 of an ounce. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that adds up. I mean, I'm using yogurt as an example, but peanut butter, whatever that people are using,
I would say peanut butter would be the worst thing. Like I
yeah,
am notorious. Not the peanut butter
almond
people. We
butter,
know I don't do it, but like, nope, not even. I don't even do it on almond butter. Like I'll have the dogs lick it off. The yogurt though, I will lick off the spoon.
right, right? And so that
It's just
if you're
nut butter.
if you're somebody like where you're at, you can get away with that. You know what I mean? You're very, very
Yeah, because
active.
like
You're
yogurt, you can
lifting.
you can do that with, but like
Yeah,
yogurt, you can do that easily with. Like I don't know, like I would never count that, right?
right.
Because that's not going to really
For
be
you,
detrimental.
for
Whereas
you,
yeah, but like
right?
I think in general, yogurt keyword, as opposed to licking off the nut butter off of
Right,
the spoon or knife,
right.
right? Because even that point 0.2 to point 0.4 ounces on your knife or spoon of a nut butter is more calorie dense.
Well,
You
and
know what
if
I
you did
mean?
that with everything, think about it.
Yeah.
So I used
If you
yogurt
do
as
it with
my
everything,
example, but
yes.
if you did it with
Yeah.
everything all week long, that could easily add up to several hundred calories. Okay.
Yeah.
Or if you do that with
True.
everything. So if you're scooping out mashed potatoes and you measured it and then there was some left on there, scraped it on, or you ate it. You did that with sweet potatoes. You did that with pudding. You did that with rice, whatever. You pick whatever it is.
Right.
If that's your thing. I mean, even with like the jelly and stuff, like if I pull out the raspberry preserves or the lemon curd, there's still some on the spoon. I got to scrape it off just to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that might take you from, oh, I only used a half an ounce. Oh, no, it was actually 0.7. Well, over the course of a whole week of doing that, now, and you're like, why am I not losing? And I'm not saying all of your issues are that, but you're not losing because you're not really weighing, measuring, calculating out what you're eating. You're guessing. And if you're new to it, your guessing sucks. And then you're doing,
Mhm.
Athlete X did a video on this about what you think you're burning when you're on the treadmill. And it's like, you burned 400 calories. And he's like, that's bullshit. We've been saying that forever,
Right.
that you don't burn as much as you think you do. You feel like you're dying. You feel like, oh my God, this burn should have kicked
Mhm.
my ass. Like lately, I haven't been doing as much jumping in my cardio drumming class. And a part of it could be also that I'm getting more fit, but I went from burning around 400 calories a class, I'm down to like 260. But if I didn't wear this, I wouldn't know that. I would
Right.
still think
I
in
would
my
say because
head,
you get more efficient
mhm,
in your exercise, right?
yep, yep,
I
and
use
I've
it as
lost
like
weight.
a generality. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true too, right?
But
So
some
if you're heavier,
people,
you're burning a lot more weight.
uh-huh, and some people use it as a freaking Bible though. So they're like, I burned
Mm.
this, therefore I can eat this. I can eyeball this and I know I'm right. And it's like, no, you're not. And that whole whatever fits in your hand, okay, it fit in my hand, but it was that thick. So is it still three? You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like
It's like
you
6
gotta weigh
ounces
it.
as opposed to 3.
Yep. And I don't even like I don't use measuring cups. I weigh everything. I weigh it because
Same.
a measuring cup is a liar too.
Yeah.
So,
I I, uh, I prefer weighing in grams now. Like, when a recipe calls for 1 cup of something, I'm like, "Fuck, now I have to do calculations because they
yeah.
didn't give me the grams."
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree. But again, some people are going to push back on that and say, I can't do that. Okay. Well, if what you're doing is working for you, then go on with your bad self. But if what you're doing isn't working, then you better figure out what you need to do to get it to work. Because you can't just go,
Mhm.
this diet didn't work for me and this program didn't work for me and counting calories doesn't work for me and I've tried everything and I can't lose weight. Bullshit. No,
Yep.
no.
You had to come and face the music at some point or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna have to take that hard look at yourself, and we've all done it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're saying, "Oh, it's poo poo on you." No, we
Right.
fucking done it. Like, I hide those bites, licks, and tastes. I fucking totally admit it. Like, a handful of chips, even though they're sugar free. Okay, that's what 50 calories versus 70 from regular ones.
Yeah.
Still adds up.
Yep.
Because you go in that
Absolutely.
cabinet 4 times, 4 times 50 is 200 people, there goes your deficit.
Yep. And that's people aren't thinking about the 7 days, they're like
Yeah,
in this moment, "Well, it wasn't so bad." And again, I've done it. I've done it. And
uh-huh.
and I use that, well, I can't lose weight. I always think about there's God, I can't remember. I think it was Family Guy. I wanna say it was Family Guy.
I've been watching those.
Oh my god, I think it was that. It's either that or South Park. It's one of the ones that are completely not PC whatsoever. But there's a picture, it's the big kid in school, and he's walking, and they have a band like a musician behind him going right, like, and
Oh my god.
whatever it was, like following him around, and he keeps stopping and he goes, I have a glandular problem, and then he starts walking again, and they're like, anyway, and I think about that. We all have, like, I've got the thyroid issue. I could sit here all day, even though I'm medicated now, and I'm on, and I could say I can't lose weight because I have a thyroid disorder, and it's like, nope, you can. You can change
Mhm.
your body. You can do all these things. If you have a health issue that's holding you back, you find out what you need to do to get that in check,
Yes.
and then you still keep working at it. You keep doing it, but you have got to be real. You can't say, I have this issue while you're also consuming 2,500 calories a day and not moving, right? You
Right.
have to have a caloric deficit. You can't guess at your caloric deficit. You have to figure out how to do it, and you have to move your ass, and you can't just walk. You can walk, don't get me wrong, walking's great, but
Yes.
you have to do resistance training. You have to do resistance training for longevity and everything else. Anyway, holy smokes, we are an hour and 15 minutes in.
It's because we didn't do one last week.
I
It's
know.
okay.
We could keep going all day, but people have things to
Yes.
do, right?
We have
So
things to do and bikes to ride and shit.
that's right. That's right. All right, guys. Well, So that was a whole hullabaloo of stuff, but, I don't even know if that's the right word, but it sounds good, so I'm gonna use it. Anyway,
Yeah.
you wanna finish with anything else, Shauna?
I guess just more challenge updates in the weeks to come. Maybe along the way we'll have some, new click moments or fucking definitely some soapboxes that we might have to get on and shit like that. I For those listening who are in the challenge, hopefully you have a good week and everything. I hope everybody is doing what they need to do.
And I think we have some guests coming on in the near
Mhm.
future as well, some that have done the challenge too and seen
Yes.
long-term health benefits and all of that. Anyway, all
Yes.
right. Well, have a great week, everyone. Shauna, you have a great week, and
You
we'll
too.
catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.